Hey guys, welcome to day 3 of Intellipaat's Python week. So last session we looked into variables and operators. So in this particular session and today we are going to start off with functions and data types in Python. So now let's start with it.
So before moving on with the session, please subscribe to our channel.
And also hit the bell icon for the upcoming updates from our channel. And also if you enjoy our content, you can leave a like.
Let's proceed and learn about function. So what are these functions? Well, a function is a block of organized reusable set of instruction that is used to perform some related action. But why do you even need a function? Well, what if you have to write a program in which you have to use same set of code again and again? For example, you wrote a code of 20 lines or 40 lines, and those 40 lines of code are coming in your main program at 10 different places. And you have to use those 40 lines of code 10 different times in the program. So I don't think that none of you would be interested in writing the same lines of code again and again. So in order to resolve this issue, they created function. So well, this function is a block where you write your code which you think you might use it again at some point of time. Therefore, it allows the reusability of the code and thus minimizes the redundancy. In Python, there are basically two types of function. The first one is the user-defined and the second is built-in function. Let's see them one by one. So what is a user-defined function? Well, any function defined by user is a user-defined function, right? Syntax. It starts with the keyword def. After that, an identifier for a function name. And then you pass the arguments into it. Alright? Followed by semicolon. And after that, you mention the set of statement inside it. Alright? Let's see an example. For example, if you want to add two arguments, so you define a function as add, and inside add you pass two parameters as a and b. So sum equal a plus b and return sum. That's it. So it's as simple as, let me just define a user defined function for you. It's like it starts with the keyword def. After that, I'll write a function name as add. Inside that I'll pass two arguments, a and b, semicolon, and this function should return me the sum of a and b. Alright? Fine. So this is my user defined function. Next is the built-in function. Now these built-in functions are a predefined set of functions in Python. We have abs function which returns the absolute value of a number. We have all function which returns true if all items in an iterable objects are true. We have any function, ASCII function, ben function, bool function, and many other built-in functions are available there in Python. If you want more information about it, you can just check out the Python official doc. Alright? Now that we have defined a function, now let's see how we can call a function. So calling a function, well, there are two ways of calling a function. You can either call it by passing a value or by passing a reference. Let's see them one by one. So first is pass by value. Calling a function by passing the value. For example, a equal 10. Def that is keyword. So we are defining the function as print the value of b is b. And again inside the function we are updating the value of b to be 100. And print the new value of b is b. And then what we are doing? Change it. And we are passing a. Now since the value of a was 10, so this function would take the value of b as 10. So print value of b is 10 and new value of b is 100. Let me just show you in order to resolve this issue. Let's define the value as a equal 10. Define my function. Inside that I'll pass an argument as b. Print the value of b is b. You have to concat. Fine. And next we'll update the value of b to be 100 and again print the new value of b is b. Fine. So this is my function. Now what I'll do, I'll call my function by passing a value. Calling a function by passing a value to it. So I'll write my function, and inside that I'll pass the value as a. Since the value of a was 10, let's see the output. See, so we got the output as the value of b is 10 and the new value of b is 100. So this was about calling a function by passing a value to it. Next we have is pass by reference. Calling a function by passing the reference. For example, so we have a list as C, 10, 20, 30. So we are defining a function as change them and we are passing an argument d to it. Inside the function we have print value of d is d. D of 0, it's a numeric constant. We are defining it as 99. D of 1 as 98. Then print the value of d is d. Then change them. Now when we are calling a function by passing the reference, so what we are doing, we are just passing the entire list to it. So what will get the output? We'll get the output as value of d is 10, 20 and 30. And the new value of d is 99, 98 and 30. Let me just show you with an example. C equal 10, 20, 30, right? Now let's define my function 2. Inside this d is what? Print the value of d is d. Alright. Next we'll define some numeric literals like d of 0 is equal to 99. D of 1 equals 98. And then print the new value of d is again d. Fine. This is my function. Now if I call my function using pass by reference, so my function 2, and I pass the value c into it, so let's see what we get the output. So we got the output as the value of d is 10, 20, 30 and the new value of d is 99, 98 and 30. Fine. Let's move ahead. Well, when a parameter is passed by reference, the caller and the callee uses the same variable for the parameter. Well, if the callee modifies the parameter variable, the effect is visible to the caller's variable. But when a parameter is passed by value, the caller and callee have two independent variables with the same value. If the callee modifies the parameter variable, the effect is not visible to the caller. Well, the things that you need to note in this definition are, well, the variable word here means the caller variable itself. That is, if I pass a local variable by reference and assign to it, it will assign the caller's variable itself. Do you know what is the meaning of reference and pass by reference? Well, it is different from the general term reference. It is that this reference is temporary and implicit. What the callee basically get is a variable that is somehow the same as the original one. Here on the screen is a very good example of pass by reference and pass by value. Alright. In pass by reference, you are filling a cup using the reference of the cup, and in pass by value, you are actually filling the cup using some values. So this was all about how you can define a function and how you can call it in Python. Let's get back to the quiz and test yourself. The following function takes two parameters and print the first one. So fill in the missing code. Fill in the missing code. What is the code? My definition function takes first name, last name, and what it should print. So post your answer in the comment section below and get it verified with us. Alright. Next question is a function which returns the x parameter plus 10. Alright. So fill in the missing code. define my function as x and write the entire function for it. You have to write a function which return the x parameter plus 10. And again, post your answer in the comment section below and we'll let you know if it is correct or not.
Just a quick info, guys. Intellipaat provides online Python certification training mentored by industry experts, the course link of which is given in the description below. Now, let's continue with the session.
Similarly, we have fourth question. What is the output of fruit? We have a tuple up here as fruit equal apple, banana and cherry. If mango and fruit, then print 3 plus 4. Else print 2 into 2. Again, print the output of the following code in the comment section below with the question number. Alright? Fine. Now let's discuss about the lambda function in Python. So what is this lambda function? Well, a lambda function is a small anonymous function. Lambda function can take any number of arguments but can only have one expression. Note the fact that lambda function cannot have more than one expression. So here's the syntax. Lambda argument colon expression. For example, we have x equal lambda a colon a plus 10 and print x of 5. So what it is basically doing, it's defining a lambda function that adds 10 to the number passed in as an argument and then print the result. Let me just show you in our Jupyter notebook. Let's define a lambda function as x equal lambda of a such that a plus 10 and then print x inside that will pass the value of 5. So what do you think the output should be? 5 plus 10, it would be 15. Alright. If you change 5 to 10, the output would be 20. Alright. Let's move ahead. So next is function versus lambda function. So what we are doing up here, we are comparing function with a lambda function. So here's a normal function which takes 2 arguments and return the multiplication result of both of them. And here is a lambda function for the same. It's like r equal lambda x comma y such that x multiplied by y, and if you call r 12 comma 3, what it will do, it will return the result of 12 multiplied by 3, that is 36. I'll just show you this in our Jupyter notebook. For example, I'm defining a function as def. Let's name my function as multi. I'll pass 2 arguments up here, x and y, colon. Now return me the product of x and y. That's it. It's done, right? Now, what if I have to define a lambda function for this? So I'll write like z equal lambda of x comma y such that it equals to x multiplied by y. Fine. Now if I want to test this, I'll write print z of, I'll pass 2 values in it, 12 comma 3. So it should return me as 36, right? So yeah, I got the output as 36. Fine. Let's move ahead. Next is the power of lambda function. Well, the power of lambda function is better shown when you use them as an anonymous function inside another function. For example, let's say you have a function definition that takes one argument and that argument will be multiplied with an unknown number, right? For example, you have my function as n returns lambda a such that a plus n. So you are defining a variable my sum equal my function of 3. For example, let's see in our Jupyter notebook. Define my function and we'll pass an argument as n such that it should return lambda of a such that a multiplied by n. Alright. Now you can use this function definition to make another function that always doubles the number you send in. For example, I can write double me equal my function. I want to double it. So my function of 2. I need to multiply it with 2. Now print what number do I need to multiply? So double me for, I want the double of 12. So double me 12, the output would be 24. So if you want to triple it, just change it to 3, your output would be 36. And so on. Alright. So this was all about the lambda function. Fine. Well, Python has majorly two data types: immutable data type and mutable data type. Immutable are the one which cannot be changed or modified, and mutables are the one which can be changed. Alright. Immutable data type consists of numbers, strings, and tuples. On the other hand, mutable data type, they consist of lists, dictionaries, and sets. Alright. So let's discuss about them one by one, starting with numbers. So under the topic of numeric literal, I have already discussed that Python has 4 different types of numeric literals: integer, long integer, floating number, and complex number. Well, I have also told you that you don't need to specify the data type of a variable while you are declaring it. Remember, Python would automatically convert a number from one type to another if it needs. Fine. Don't worry if you want to explicitly convert one data type to another. You can do it using int function, long function, float function, or complex function. Alright. You have that option available with you. For now, let's just move ahead and see how we can find the data type of a variable. Let's see. Suppose I'm declaring an integer variable a equal 10. Let's define a name. As Jill. Now what if I want to check the data type of these variables? So how can I do that? So for that we have type function. So print the type of variable A. Alright? Or print the type of variable name. Or print the type of variable salary. Fine. Execute it. Sorry, there's a typo. It's type. Alright. So you can see that variable A is of type integer, variable name is of type string, and variable salary is of type float. Fine. Alright. Let's get back to our tutorial. So this was about the numbers. Next is strings. Well, anything which is written under the single or double quotes is treated as a string. Alright, let's perform some operations on string and understand them in detail. Suppose I have first string as hello world, and my second string is Intellipaat. Alright. Now what if I want to print first character from the string 1 and the last character from string 2? So how will I do that? Let's see. So what you can do, print str1, and I need the first character. So my first character is at index number 0. I'll just mention str1 of 0. And I want the last character from string 2, right? So print str2. So if you want the last character, just specify -1. Execute it. So you got the output as capital H and small t. Since capital H is the first character from string 1 and small t is the last character from string 2. Alright. So now what if I need to extract hello from hello world? So how will I do that? What I need to do? Extract hello from hello world.
Just a quick info, guys. Test your knowledge of Python by answering this question. What do we use to define a block of code in Python language? A. Key. B. Brackets. C. Indentation. D. None of the above. Comment your answer in the comment section below. Subscribe to Intellipaat to know the right answer. Now, let's continue with the session.
So all you need to do is print from which string? String 1. Hello, starting from 0, and it should end till 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It should end till 5. Alright. And execute it. So you'll get the output as hello. Fine. This is how you can collect the substring from a string. One thing to remember is that if you check the index number of hello, so it would end at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, right? So when you want a substring, so you have to mention it as +1. So 4 plus 1 is 5. So 0 till 5. It won't include the fifth position. Generally, if you are extracting a substring, the last number which you are including, that thing is not included. It means that everything which would be between 0 and less than 5 would come as the substring. Alright, let's perform some operations on it. So first we have is the find function. So what are these find function? Well, this find function returns the position of the string. Let's take an example. For example, I have a string as str equal attachment. And what I need to do, I want to find the position of the substring me from it. So str.find, and inside that just mention what you want to find. Like I want to find the position of me. Let's execute it. So you got the output as 6. Why? Since me starts from 6. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's on 6th position. So that's why you got the position as 6. Next is replace. Well, this replace function is used to replace one character or string with other. Fine. It's like, what if I want to replace this me with m? So str dot replace. What I want to replace? First mention that I want to replace me. With what I want to replace? It's m. Fine. Execute it. So you got the output as attachment. attachment. Fine. me is replaced with m. One more thing that you can do up here is, let me just show you. You can convert the word attachment into attach. Let's see how. Attach dot replace. So what you need to replace from here is ment. You don't want ment from here. So what should you replace it with? You can replace it with space. That's it. If you execute it, you'll get the word attach. What if I don't mention the space up here? So you'll get the output as attach. Even that work. Alright? Fine. Next we have is the split function. Well, this function is used to create split on the basis of a character. For example, I have a split string which consists of word 1, comma, word 2, comma, word 3. So all these 3 different words are separated by comma. So what I want to do, I want to split the entire string on the basis of comma. So I'll write split str dot split on the basis of comma and execute it. So as you can see, I got the output as 3 different words. Word 1, word 2 and word 3. Let's move ahead. Next is the count function. Well, count function returns the count of the character in the string. For example, let's take a string as
Just a quick info, guys. Intellipaat provides online Python certification training mentored by industry experts, the course link of which is given in the description below. Now, let's continue with the session.
str3 equals Intellipaat. Now I want to find the count of letter I from this particular string. So str3 dot count, I'll mention I. Let's execute it. So what do you think the output should be? INTELLIPAAT. So do you think it should be 2? Well, according to me, it will be 1. I'll tell you why. See, the output is 1 because, remember I told you Python is case sensitive. So both the uppercase and lower cases are treated differently. So if I'm searching for small I, that small I is just appearing once. So I got the count of small I as 1. Now, what if I convert this string to uppercase? Dot u dot upper. Let's convert it to uppercase. Okay, that's it. str3 dot upper. So it gave me Intellipaat. Let's store it in some variable like str4 equal str3 dot upper. Fine. Now if you count the number of i's in str4, you'll get the output as 2. Why? Since in capital Intellipaat you have 2 i's. Alright? Fine. So we discussed about the upper, which converts the character string to the uppercase. Fine. Next is the max or min function. Well, these functions are used to return the max or min ASCII values. For example, let's take a string 5 as anything. For example, exclamation mark, @ #123, capital A, small b, small a, c, capital C. Alright. So this is my string 5. Now I want to find the maximum ASCII value from it. So what I'll do, I'll just write max str5. Execute it. I must to mention this. Put it under the quotes. Execute it. So the character with maximum ASCII value is small c. Alright. Or what if I want to find the minimum ASCII value from string 5? Let's check for that. So minimum ASCII value in string 5 is of exclamation mark. Fine. So let's move ahead. So next we have is the tuple. Tuple are a group of values within the parentheses, and since they are immutable data type, so the values within the tuples cannot be changed. For example, we have defined a tuple up here as my group equal A, B, C and D. Alright. So this is the example of a tuple. So let's move ahead and perform some operations on it to understand it in detail. Let's get back to our Jupyter notebook. Let's define a tuple as my tuple equal within the parentheses. I'll mention A, then B, then C and D. Alright, so this is my tuple. So the very first function that we are going to perform on it is concatenation. So what are these concatenation? It is used to add two strings or character. Alright. Basically, concatenation is used to add two or more tuples. Alright. For example, I'll define another tuple as my tuple 1 equal E and F. So if I need to concatenate it, I'll just write my tuple plus equal my tuple 1. And let's print it. Print my tuple. Let's see the output. You got an error as invalid syntax. What is the invalid syntax up here? Something is invalid, yeah. Let's define it again. Okay, this semicolon is missing up here. Fine. Execute it. So yeah. So this concatenated me and gave me the result as A, B, C, D, E, and F. So this is how concatenation is done in tuple. Concatenation. Next we have is the repetition. Repetition is used to duplicate the string or character for a given number of times. For example, what if I want to double the contents in my tuple? So I'll just write my tuple multiplied by 2. And again, that's it. My tuple multiplied by 2 and hit enter. So you'll get the output as double values of A, B, C, D, E, and F. Fine. So this is how a repetition is done in a tuple. So let's move ahead. Next function that we need to perform is indexing. Indexing shows the index position of a character or a string within the group or within the tuple. For example, I want to find what character is present at the index number 1. So I'll just write my tuple of 1. So at first index, B is present over there. It's like A is present as 0th index, B at 1, C at 2, D at 3, and so on. Fine. So this is how indexing is done in tuple. Next is slicing. Slicing shows a specific set of index character or string. Fine. For example, I want a specific set of strings which lies between the index number 1 to 4. So my tuple, I want a specific set of string which lies between 1 to 4. So this is my 0th, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Fine. So I'll get the output as B, C, D, and E. Let's check it. So I got the output as B, C, D, and E. Fine. Alright. So let's move ahead. So next we have is the list. List is a sequence of mutable Python data type which is defined within the square brackets. And now since they are mutable, they can be easily changed. Let's move ahead and perform some operations on it and understand it in detail. So what is an example? Okay. So we define a list as A, 10, 7.12 and data. So it is consisting of mixed data type values. It even has an integer, a float and a string. Fine. Let's get back to our notebook and define a list. So this is my list. My list equal within parentheses a string, a number, a decimal,
Just a quick info, guys. Intellipaat provides online Python certification training mentored by industry experts, the course link of which is given in the description below. Now, let's continue with the session.
And a string with multiple character. Fine. So this is my list. Now let's see what are the operations that we need to perform on it. First is concatenation. Well, again, the concatenation is same as the one which we learned in tuple. It is used to add two or more lists together. Let's define another list as my list 2. My list 2 consists of element as, let's take Python, or it consists of an integer. Now what if I want to concatenate my list with my list 2? So what I'll do, my list plus equal my list 2. Let's see what is the result. Let's print the value of my list. So you got the result as A123 3.14 John Python 20 Python 20. So you got this result 2 times because I executed it twice. It's my fault. So what you can do, you can just my list dot remove. Hold on, I don't want to execute this entire list or statement, so I'll define it under different block. So my list dot remove Python Okay, I have misspelled Python as okay. Remove this. Again, remove this. And remove 20 and again remove 20. If you again remove it, you'll get an error. Fine. So let's see what we have currently in my list. Let's print it. Okay. Let's get back up here and execute it just once. Okay. So as you can see, my list got updated with Python and 20. Fine. Next is repetition. Well, repetition is again same as tuple. It is used to duplicate your list with n number of times. Well, next is repetition. It is used to multiply your list by n number of times. For example, my list into 2 would duplicate your list with each element appearing twice in the list. Alright? Fine. Next is slicing. Again, same as tuple, if you want a specific portion of a list, we can just mention the starting index number and the ending index number plus 1, and it would return us the sliced list. Alright. For example, as you can see here on the screen, we have my list, and inside that we have A1 3.14 and Python, and we want a sublist from 1 to 4th index number, like 1 2 3 0 1 2 3 plus 1. 4th won't be included, so we'll get the output as 1 3.4 and 3.14 and Python. Alright. Next is append. Well, appending is adding any value to a list. It's almost same as the function what we did up here. Right. It's like my list dot append and add any values with which you want to append. Like I want to append with 10 and print my list. That's it. So as you can see, we got 10 in the end. Fine. So moving on ahead, next we have is extend. Well, again, extend is another function which is used to concatenate two different string. Alright. For example, I'll define my list 3 as C and D, and I want to append my list with my list 3. Let's print and see what result do we get.
Just a quick info, guys. Test your knowledge of Python by answering this question. What do we use to define a block of code in Python language? A. Key. B. Brackets. C. Indentation. D. None of the above. Comment your answer in the comment section below. Subscribe to Intellipaat to know the right answer. Now, let's continue with the session.
So as you can see up here, C and D got added with my list. Fine. Well, next is insert. Well, using the index number, you can specify any value in between the list. For example, I want to insert a number before 3.14. So I'll write my list dot insert. I'll mention the index number. My index number is 0, 1. I want it after 1. And what value I want? For example, I want to insert a 20, 30. Alright. Let's print my list and see what is the result. You cannot use a string up here. You just have to mention the number, index number. So yeah, you got my list at first position. So what if I want to insert it before 3.14? That was my target, right? Now your updated string is this 0, 1, 2, 3. So you want to insert it at third position and you want to insert 40. So at third position, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. So after 1, 2, 3, 40 would come. So after 1, 2, 3, 40 is up here. Alright. So this is how you can insert any number at a given index number. So this was all about list. I hope you understood the difference between a list and a tuple. If not, let me just summarize it again. A tuple is immutable while a list is mutable. Open and close brackets are used when you're grouping items under it. And in the case of list, square brackets are used. Fine. So this was all about the list. So let's move ahead and discuss about dictionaries. Well, these are more flexible data type in Python. And you define a group within the curly braces. Fine. While defining the elements in a dictionary, you have two elements, key and its value. Fine. Or in other words, we can say that we define an index for each element. Let's explore various operations that we can perform using dictionary. So first one is defining an empty dictionary. Don't mention anything within the curly braces. That would be an empty dictionary. Alright. Next is integer keys. That is dictionary with integer keys. For example, 1 apple, 2 ball. So the key 1 and 2 are just integer, right? So it's a dictionary with integer keys. Next is mixed keys. Dictionary with mixed keys. That is, we have key of mixed data type. For example, name is string up here, 1 is integer, right? So this is mixed key. Next we have is pairing. That is from sequence having each item as a pair. Dictionary, 1 apple, 2 ball, all are taken as a pair element. Fine. Next is accessing dictionary. So what if I want to access a dictionary? So I can directly access using the key. Fine. For example, the word 1 is associated with key 1 and word 2 is associated with key 2. So if I want to access word 1, I can directly write my dictionary of 1 and it will give me output as word 1. Fine. Let's move ahead. Now what if I want to find the length of the dictionary? Then I can directly do it using the len function. Len of my dictionary is giving me the output as 2. Why? Since it consists of two elements, word 1 and word 2. Fine. Next is key. Now what if I want to find the key of my dictionary? So I can just use the key function. My dictionary.key. It is returning me all the keys within the dictionary. Fine. It is returning me all the key defined within the dictionary. Next is value. Well, this function is used to return all the values defined within the dictionary. For example, we have apple and ball as value within this dictionary, my dict. Alright, so that's why using value function, we got the output as apple and ball. Fine. Let's move ahead. Okay, so now that you have learned about dictionary, so let's discuss about the last data type, that is set. Sets are the unordered collection of items within the curly braces. That is, items are defined within the opening and the closing curly braces. And you don't have to define the key value in it. It is basically unordered collection of items. If you are adding elements in the set, then make sure that every element in the set is unique. For example, you can define a set as my set equal 1 to 3. Well, it's almost similar to as dictionary, right? But it does not has any key value associated to it. It's the only difference between a set and a dictionary. Alright? Let's perform some of the function using set and understand it in a better way. So the first one is creating set. You already created a set. Alright. Next is union. Well, union of two sets return the common value from both the set. For example, my set S1 equal 1, 2 and C. My set S2 consists of 1, B and C. So if I am performing a union on it, so it is returning me with 1, 2, C and B. So basically what it is doing, it is returning me the common values of both the set. Fine. Next is the intersection. Well, intersection is used to return the common result from both of them. That is AND of my set S1 and my set S2. So what are the common elements in both of them? We have 1, 2C, 1, BC. So we have 1 and C common in both the sets. So we got the output as 1 and C. Fine. Next is the difference. Well, this difference would omit all the common value from both the set. And it will return the only value which is a unique in first set. For example, we have 1, 2C in set 1 and 1, BC in set 2.
Just a quick info, guys. Intellipaat provides online Python certification training mentored by industry experts, the course link of which is given in the description below.
Okay guys, we've come to the end of this session. I hope this session was helpful and informative for you. If you have any queries, leave a comment down below.
Thanks for watching.